which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, Nick was supposed to be on the agenda first. I'm gonna go ahead and call Hallie. You wanna talk to us about the parking, or the green space and?
Sure. So I got contacted, I'm with Park Heritage FFA, and I teach a landscape management class at Park Heritage. So we got contacted about doing some landscaping on the visitor center, or is that what it's?
I think it's probably over there by the foundation, isn't it?
Is it, yeah?
Yeah.
Which one is?
What we talked about, if they could help out at the visitor center down at the depot too.
Oh, we did? The
It's
park,
my understanding you already
Okay.
were working with Brad on some,
Both.
Yes.
park board stuff, I think, again.
Yes.
we're basically gonna add to their backyard
Mhm.
with a green space, so.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we could do that, and I know that Melissa said something too about the visitor center. So I have a landscape class right now. We just kind of leave, I have them first period, so we leave at like 8:30 in the morning. We'll walk over, take a minibus, and then I'll just take them back before like 9:15. So it's not the most ideal situation, but if we were taking all day field trips, then we would be out of there like all the time. So I just wanted to reach out to you guys to see what you wanted us to do with all of that. We've done cleanup at the Community Foundation. We're working with them to landscape the whole thing. Trying to add in some native plants, some perennials and low maintenance stuff. They're willing to do mulching, any of that. So just whatever you guys would want, I can put my kids to work on it. I just have 5 of them, so it does take a little bit. And I could do either just with my landscape class during that morning, or I also have kids on my FFA roster that are always willing to do stuff like that too, so we could do it as an after-school event, or even after we get out of school in June, make it more like, get it all done in one day. So whatever you guys are thinking, I'm willing to.
Depot wise,
Well-
it was mainly gonna be planting some plants, I think.
Plants,
Yeah, I think we're gonna get some plants and just need them.
so you guys get the plants and then we would just.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would, obviously keep Brad in the loop, or actually get with him and,
So this is a park board
you know,
event or activity, I assume,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
And then kind of, I think, a proposal regarding the green space in the parking lot.
Well, yeah, we have that lot over there. We're trying to figure out what to do.
They had, I mean, he had some general ideas, I think, so I would reach out to him maybe.
Because we will probably just do it as an extension. I know I'm getting field trip forms and permission slips all approved this week in hopes that Monday and pretty much having the rest of the school year is us just going over there into other businesses. So we would just probably tack it on to next week. We're going to focus on cleaning up the community foundation, and then after that will be like planting and everything. So we would just, with them being right there, tack it right onto it. Do that long one.
Okay.
anybody else have any questions?
I think so.
Anybody out here have any questions about what they're doing? What they wanna do?
We're open to any ideas.
Okay.
Well, again, I think the park board's a driving board on this. It's not this board necessarily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought we discussed that we wanted it to, kind of be presented to the
Oh,
council.
yeah. Appreciate that. Park board.
Well, I mean, while we're talking about this, Luke, you're not actually on the agenda, but you wanna speak to something to it real quick? Just to-
Yeah, absolutely. I think I talked to you, I gave you a text this week, sent you a text, I don't know if you received that at all.
I did, yeah, but it was
Okay.
a nine, but you
I'm
responded
sure,
to the
yeah,
end.
that's okay. My name is Luke Waltz, everybody, just so you know. Just moved back to Rockville, me and my dad, for good or for bad, don't hold that against me. But anyway, I'm a landscape architect and I have a civil engineering business partner. We just started a business within the past couple of years specializing in urban spaces, specializing in community establishment, quality of life, quality of place. And so Dave asked me a couple weeks ago to put a proposal together for what the York Street parking lot could be. We talked a little bit about that and kind of some ideas for maybe parking lot improvements, parking lot landscaping, but the proposal in front of you kind of furthers that idea where it could be a community gathering space, could be something that's really engaging. A lot of towns of our size are pushing forward with these types of things. Huntingburg, Indiana is one. Crawfordsville, they have a really nice amphitheater plaza area. This is what we do. This is everything outside of the building, public space, civic infrastructure, plazas, splash pads, things like that. Places for people to gather, communities to participate in together. So Purdue has a great landscape architecture program, and I'd love to talk to you a little bit more about how that agricultural and that whole thing dovetails in with what we do as designers. But the proposal is just for your reference. This is kind of what that would look like if you're interested, and I'd love to talk with you more about that later.
Okay. Well, Nick, go ahead.
Do you work with any, DNR grants or anything like that?
Yep, absolutely. So we kind of push through funding, we help with the grant writing process and make that whole thing happen. So our project would include some of those things as part of the exploratory process. So.
Well, I just wanted to add that, we've got about 11,000 square feet over there.
Yeah.
And, Roger from, he used to be Deckard Engineering, they changed their name, I think, DS something. But, he laid out 26 parking spots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not a lot. I don't know what we can do. Of course, that's your expertise. But yeah, the objective and still will, I think, will remain. I think the board's committed to, we want as many parking spots as we can just to try to help Main Street and the businesses on the square. That's been a consistent problem. And we want to address the problem the best we can. So I don't know if we have a lot of space for a lot of work there as far as green space.
Yeah, what I would recommend is thinking about it with an open mind that these types of places bring more people into the downtown business area. So it's a draw, having restroom facilities, having kind of a green space that's more than just perimeter landscaping will do that in a really eventful way, meaningful way. And that would be beyond kind of the scope of just sort of the courthouse lawn, something that's really engaging, interactive for the local residents. I think that's a really great thing for families, really great thing for tourism, would really bolster that economic center around Main Street in a way that's different than just parking lot. So the study proposal and the process would kind of give you a range of ideas from kind of the low cost alternative of parking lot all the way up through highest and best use of something more grand. So
Okay.
I think it would be worth just considering that.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Or? I take it not.
Nick looks like he's ready to go.
Yep.
Okay.
You're up.
I can be here the whole time now, but I can go ahead and go. Just a couple things to announce. We have our ordinance violation courts tomorrow in conjunction with small claims court. So we have 4 things in small claims court and then 3 things that are ordinance violations pending tomorrow afternoon. So hopefully it'll be a productive afternoon. We did have a couple small claims cases settle. I think Brandy's going to talk about one of those here in a little bit. At least it was a fairly substantial amount that we were able to recover. So that's really what I've been working on lately. That's all I really had.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you two guys, by the way. So
Thank you.
if you guys don't want to stick around, you don't have to, but you're more than welcome to. So,
Appreciate
but
that.
anyways, so you're done. Bill.
Got a paper ready prepared. Only have 2 vests for new staff members that we're waiting on. All the others have been issued. The grant application for the additional vest plates from Marathon Pipeline Company, there's no update. We've not heard anything yet. Body camera grant has been awarded $2,400 with a $600 match. Grant agreement has been provided to the clerk. A new hire has completed her 40-hour pre-basic training. She will now be completing on-the-job training with officers. When invoices are submitted, they are turned in a timely manner. The date on the invoice is usually the date ordered. The invoice is not usually turned in until all items in the other order have been received. In the case of Nelson's Police Supply, the order was placed in February, and items were finally all received just before the last board meeting. Invoice was mailed to me on Saturday and submitted on Sunday. Sorry for the confusion. But feel free to call Randy if you have any questions. He's off work this week to take care of some personal items and campaign, and will return next week. Had a large arrest last week. The subject of an armed robbery in Rockville. All officers assisted. The suspect was located near Billy Creek Village when his car broke down and was arrested on a warrant. The vehicle was impounded and inventoried. As a result, we located a handgun-shaped knife, 28.5 grams of marijuana, and almost 11 grams of methamphetamines, along with scales for measuring in cells. He's requesting approval for items sent in an email for repair on April 11th, 2022. Check with Peterson's, and alignment is $89, and the tires are the same price as the last ones. He's not received a responsive cost. The vehicle repairs for the 2016 vehicle and have not scheduled any work until approval, the request is approved.
Is that the car we're wanting to get ready for the new hire?
Yes. And then review significant event report, Officer Thorne Martin, and monthly statistics, which I have these if you guys want to look at them.
So is this robbery at a residence or business?
That's at a residence.
Did he really break down in Jack Shannon's driveway?
Yes. What's this? And that's the.
Is that the end of your report?
That's the end of my report.
I guess I could say one other thing. I was working with Cameron. He brought in another stack of evidence that they're able to dispose of that's gone through the court system. So we're working together. Cameron's actually burying me. We have about that much stuff to go through out of the evidence locker. So that's something else that him and I have been working together
So
on.
this stuff need to be burned? I think I brought that up before.
It's just more so we have to go through the statutes and make sure we meet the approval through the state as far as how we go about getting rid of evidence, whether it be, video evidence or paraphernalia or different things. Some things we can sell, which if they're lawful and they aren't returned to whoever it is, then we already did that earlier last year, if you remember. But a lot of these are other evidentiary things that aren't necessarily tangible items we can sell. But we still have a process we have to go through under the statute. And so he's put together the summaries of everything. And it's going to take me a little bit to go through that.
Okay.
So, but that's something else that has been being worked on. And I think we are making some headway in the evidence locker, it sounded like.
How big is the evidence locker?
Not very.
Not big,
Um,
not big enough for all the stuff that's in there currently,
okay.
but it's significantly less full than it was a year ago.
When was the last time it was cleaned out?
Right before the.
Felt like cleaned out.
Well, I don't know. It's as cleaned out as it could be, I guess, within statute.
We had the.
We had the auction a year ago.
Well, yeah, that's stuff, yeah.
We got rid of quite a bit, but the last couple of years have been pretty busy, and
We keep gaining more.
yeah.
Right. It's a
And
continuous,
until the cases are done, completed, decided, and, whoever goes to court and
right,
gets sentenced, or all the evidence stays there until,
right. Well, maybe we can figure out a bigger locker for you somewhere in the future here.
It's not really a matter of necessarily when they're charged or when their crimes commit, but they have to go through, they have an appeal process and things too. So it could even be, some of them were 16, I think, that have just finally gotten
we've got a
finalized.
firearms case, or a case that we confiscated a bunch of firearms on from like 13 or 14, and there's still something going on with that case. There's 4 or 5 firearms that we can't get rid of because he's still doing something.
Alright, so it just kind of depends, and what they do is they try to narrow down the list as to what we could possibly do, and then I have to go through and check statutory wise whether or not we can close it out or not.
Good time.
Luckily, last year we were able to close quite a few of them out, but a lot.
Most of what you got this year was 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
There's a few outliers from years before, but most of it's pretty recent.
So starting to make some headway on that. I guess on their end, they've done really good to get it to me. It's just a matter of me having time to sit down and go through each individual one and say yes we can or no we can't. And, you know, it looks like a lot of them we probably can close out and clean out, but
Hey, Doug, I got a question about the vest,
Yes.
especially the fitted vest. When we have an officer quit, what happens with that?
It should go into the supply closet or the clothing closet, so that if we get another officer that is of similar size, we can reuse that vest.
Okay. Just asking.
Well, we had an officer that recently left, a reserve, I think, I'm told. That's correct, isn't it? Didn't he just get a vest? Is that vest, is that,
We've had a part-timer and a reserve both leave.
okay. So we put the vest in the lockers, wherever. Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, what about the we need to what, approve the automobile repairs or something?
Yes,
Do we even know what they are? I mean, as far as how much? It seems like I saw it somewhere.
I think you read off some of it on it, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the alignment was at $89. and-
Well, that's on a truck. I thought he was talking about.
Well, yeah.
What's this? Our new officer. She's the car that.
The 16 that was Derek's is the one.
the
that-
K9 cage was taken out of it.
Oh, okay. So it's an Explorer.
It's an Explorer,
Yeah.
K9 cage was taken out. When you take that out, the camera was back there in the transport. The transport's not there anymore, so the camera needs to be moved up front. There's some switches that no longer work that need rewired, and there's a lot of, the printer needs to be remounted, and it's not working right now, so it's gonna have to be fixed so that we can issue citations and whatnot.
Can Alan do any of the, like, just the car repair?
He took the cage out and a lot of that stuff, but
Okay.
the electronic part,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll change fuses, but
They do that on purpose, so
Oh,
you
I
can't
know.
work on your own vehicles.
So, where do you do that at? You get that done at
JTN.
JTN. Yeah, I saw that somewhere. Where did I see that? Anyway, we need to do something with that, don't we?
What was it, JTN?
JTN,
That $18,000 wasn't part of that deal, though.
Huh?
I think the 18,000 was for.
That's the-
For the two new vehicles.
Tahoes.
Yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't think this would be near that.
I hope
I
not.
haven't seen the quote for what it was for that one, but-
Well, I mean, I wish Randy was here. I know he explained these invoices on these, from this one vendor. That $18,000 came in December, and I cannot for the life of me figure out why it takes 4 months to get an invoice in. And quite frankly, I can't believe somebody would leave a due date on a bill for 2 months and send it to you. I don't know. I'm a reasonably intelligent man, and I just cannot understand that, you know. And I know you don't have an answer for me, but it's, I don't know, I guess we're just frustrated with it, so. But anyways, are you done with your report then, you say? Well, Jeff, you're up.
Oh boy.
here we go.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my papers out.
Copy mine, I lost one.
These three I'll send your way.
You have
2,
one?
3, 4 I'll send your way. Thank you.
This
is the week of 4/18.
Yes. Correct.
Yes.
I'm right. Item number 1, I'm told by NDOT that they're gonna make the award this week. I will notify you as soon as I hear anything.
Do you remember what the total was on that? I just off the top of the head. I'm just wondering what our match is. I can't. It's
Yeah.
been too many months or weeks.
Gosh, I can't remember. I think the total was, 254, so 25%
So
of
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'll go look it up when I get back
Okay.
to my office.
IMPA, I've sent you out the pole replacements for Q2. I think there were about 16 of them. That involves Sugar Tree Alley, which is the central and east portion, which is behind G&M, and also Vanderheiden's, I think, needing some pole replacements through there. And we're also going to redo some poles between Benjamin and Sill Street. Try to work in that switchboard construction there. I'll keep you posted on that. Part-time workers, item number 3. Evidently, we didn't approve for last time what we were going to pay them. So my recommendation is to go $11.50 per hour for all 3 employees. And I just need a yay or nay on that, or you can set up whatever you want it to be.
Somebody want to make a motion on that?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 4, since we were looking at a new full-time worker, I got to looking at it, and if we're going to do that, I've had some contact with some people regarding the wages and their interest in the position, and as we know, $12 an hour starting out is not exactly going market rate for labor. So my recommendation for you guys is I'd like to increase the wastewater and water general labor position. The wastewater will go from $14.53 to $15.53, and also water labor from $12.24 to $14. And I would like to make our new starting wage negotiable up to $14 per hour. If the person has good skills, etc. And I'd just like your approval to do that.
So, part of the motivation behind this is we basically decided doing the contracting, weed eating was not really a way to go. I haven't ran the numbers, see what the net increase would be for us. I mean, it's not huge. Has anybody ran numbers on that? Did you, Jeff, run any total increase?
Yeah, I figure $2 an hour, $80 a week.
Right.
It's $160 every pay.
Right.
For a difference between 12 and 14.
Well, it's going to take a little better starting wage to get someone
Kind
to
of get what you
sign
pay
on.
for.
Well, absolutely. I know we've talked about this in the past. We set up our payroll ordinance every year, and then these things come up every year. But then part of that is just
I'll still doing business.
reality of things change in 12 months. What do you think?
No, I agree.
Just listen to me babble.
I mean, we have to do it to get some people in here, so, I mean,
If we don't, we'll be hearing about cemetery soon.
I'll make the motion to increase the wages.
get a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, folks. It's that time of year where we're gonna do some dielectric testing on some of our vehicles for the electric department. J&M will be in to do their diagnostics on that. They don't have an exact cost for us, but it'll be around $3,000, I believe. That's traditionally what will run about $2,500. I'm allowed a little bit extra for cost increase. It'll be a ballpark for that area. I'd just like to get approval for that expenditure.
I'll move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 6, and I've mentioned this a few times, we're trying to get down to the nitty gritty to see what kind of dollars we're looking at and what kind of deals are out there on a digger truck. I mentioned before that the lead time on those are pretty lengthy. Altech may have a vehicle come due in February. I know the gentleman from Altech came down, took a look at our digger truck as far as trade-in value and that kind of thing.
Did he laugh?
No, he really didn't, because it's in pretty decent shape.
Yeah, we were talking a few minutes before you came in. Is that truck 25, 30 years old?
It's 20.
20.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 1999, I believe.
All right.
So, yeah, it's been a good truck. It's kind of nearing the end of its service life, and I know that we've had a few issues with the main cylinder on it.
Yeah.
Main
Fluid,
hydraulic.
doesn't it lose fluid?
Yeah. So that's something that we're taking a look at.
Right. I mean, we're kind of looking next year budget for this.
Yes.
You know, for some of you who don't know, a digger truck, it's the truck to dig the holes for poles for
It's
electric.
set to poles. It's got a big boom on it. And,
So yeah, how much a bucket truck? They about the same?
the small bucket truck we paid $150 for 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, the big ones though, they're probably more.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I know the last one was about 3.
Is this a new truck he's talking about?
yeah. And I've also kind of put it out too, that if they run into some that are used, but in really good condition, that we wouldn't be opposed to that either.
Do you give any ballparks on our truck?
No, I haven't heard back from him. That was late last week when we stopped by, so I'm sure he's working some numbers. I'll pass that information on to you as it comes in.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm guessing IMPA only ever buys new, they don't.
Well, they'll buy some used trucks from time to time. As a matter of fact, they may be interested in buying our old one outright. So we may get a little bit better value out of it that way. Truck. All right, wastewater treatment plant, we've got several items on here and they're not pretty. The first one is the easy one. I'd like to get approval to add overflow pump alarms at the wastewater treatment plant. As per Bruce's request, those things kick out quite a bit and they're not alarmed like some of our other items are. So from BBC, the cost of installing those alarms is $3,850.
Do those things contact someone? How's that work?
Yeah, it goes through OmniSite, is the name of the software. And what will happen is anybody that's listed on the call, anytime those alarms trip, I get a phone call.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Or in this case, Bruce and I will get a phone call because
Yeah.
it's wastewater treatment plant.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing we have on a lot of our lift stations.
Right.
And
We have one in Bill Brown, right?
yes.
Yep.
Finally.
So how many are we looking at, Bruce? Or Jeff, whoever can answer the question?
It's for the store pumps, and for some reason, I don't know why they weren't ever set up. But if those store pumps are tripped out, then it's going to overflow right on Bridgeton Road, so.
But we don't want that.
No, there's no lights, there's nothing, there's no indicators at all that there's pumps are.
So is there 2? It looks like there are 2 on there, David. Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, no, there's one and then just with
One and then
labor.
the.
Oh, one in labor. Okay.
Yeah, one in labor. The
I'll move.
crystal ball outdoor version is 2,300, and then the labor is 1,550.
I got a motion.
I
Give me a second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 8 is wastewater treatment plant raw pump repair. As you remember, we pulled that out and sent it to Sycamore Engineering. Their estimate is $16,856 to rebuild that booger. I did not get a price on a brand new. 54 was it?
54,000.
54 for a new one?
Yeah, we caught it just in time, so they said if we had run much longer, we'd been buying a new one.
So rebuild 16,856.
Any idea how long the rebuild will be?
4 weeks. We'll have it back.
Okay, and how long do they usually last, is estimate? Depending on your luck.
Yeah, depending on,
Well,
it lasts
Used
another 20
car,
years,
okay.
yeah.
gotta keep
Want to
pumping.
make a motion on it?
I'll move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item number 9 is just kind of, for my planning purposes, off the top of my head. We're getting to the point eventually we're gonna need to look at repaving the cemetery, and I don't know how you guys handled that in the past.
We've
where
never
you
done
ju-
it in my memory in the last 25 years.
And it shows.
And it shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was,
Could
how
we-
you went about doing that. I don't think I can do it through
You don't think you can put that in
community
inventory?
Could
crossings.
we name some?
Yeah, I don't know. I can find out.
If we put that in inventory, they've gotta have street names, right?
Yeah.
Well,
And there's
We could
some
call
other-
them like circles or chords, because they're,
True.
um,
Would you like for me to investigate?
we'll
that?
investigate that further, see if we can name them and put them in the inventory and then go after community crossing. Something is in my mind, those things are so low in the ground. I mean, do we have to grind the streets, the roads down? Can we pave on top to try to get them up a little bit? Just thought.
Depending on what kind of shape they're in.
Those entrances need a little work on drainage too.
Well, they
Sure.
dug, I had, Mark a couple years ago dug trenches on each side of that main entrance. There's a little trench out to the stormwater drain, but they're full of leaves. I mean, the guys need a blower out there and just blow it out.
they have a blower.
Yeah, I hear that. Or they
During the
do
winter,
all that grade
in the
out,
summer they
suck
do
them
pretty
out.
good about it, but in the winter it's kind of accumulated. But when those leaves are out of those ditches, it drains pretty good.
Hey Jeff, this is the dumb question of the day for you. Do we have any of the equipment necessary to grind off the surface and repave ourselves, or would that be stuff that all have to be purchased to do it ourselves?
Yeah, and Dave and I even talked at one point about looking at like a 3-foot milling machine that we could run on the front of our skid steer.
Yeah,
And if I remember right, they were pretty solid.
yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Well, here's something else. I was just thinking of some cemeteries in the county have funds at the foundation, and it's quite amazing what some of those funds have accumulated over the years. I don't think we have a fund set
Not
up,
that I know of. I can ask. We have a meeting tomorrow morning.
but we really should look into establishing a fund for the cemeteries and get that going, because in the future that can really help to take care of it.
Just my thought process was, depending on how salty that is, maybe it'd make it where we're more self-sufficient on our roads or our town streets or something.
Yeah,
I
I
imagine
know
it's
off
probably.
top of the head, you'd obviously need an asphalt layer, you need a roller, you need a miller,
Yeah.
and
So we're talking like $1 million or hundreds of thousands or.
Dave would probably be able to answer that better than I would.
Not really, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't.
Right. Okay. Yeah, like I said, that's just a dumb question of the day.
Oh, no, not a bad question, because we kind of talked about that
Yeah.
a little bit in the
Dumbest
past.
thing I've heard.
Because I know we can't do like major highways probably, but we might be able to do some of these side streets or things like that.
Alleys.
Right.
Yeah.
That was kind of where my mind was at, or, cemetery, But-
Sugar tree is beyond our scope.
Okay.
Something to,
Check it out.
Because if we knew a price, then we could look maybe if our grant person's here about
Cindy's
grants.
back
Run,
there.
Cindy.
Is there any second dumb question of the day? Any funding sources for mechanical infrastructure type stuff like paving?
He wants to go into the paving business.
Not
I was
necessarily.
gonna say, there's a reason why a lot of communities outsource that.
Because you
they
can't.
can afford the maintenance on the equipment.
Well, no more than they
Buy
probably
it,
use it. You need to
replace
use it several months out of the year to really justify the cost. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I assume there's no funding through the state. government.
Not that I have seen.
Okay.
okay,
Sorry to interrupt.
nope, not at all. Item number 10, some project status. I did get our first draft sent in. And if you have any feedback or anything, let me know.
I haven't had a chance to look at yours or Brandy's report yet, but that's on my calendar for tomorrow.
So
Okay.
that's
That's
the well.
for the water project, the water improvement project. I
Right.
guess you'd specify on that. And I'd like to thank Cody on that too, because he spent a lot of time getting some of the data prepared for that. We kind of worked together on putting it that way, so I appreciate his help. 41 North Sewer expansion. talked to Brian Hood, and he was gonna get some dates together, but, in talking with him, he's not comfortable, and I'm not comfortable putting dates together until we know that everything is signed, sealed, and delivered on the right-of-ways,
Well,
and
I
I think that's still a little iffy.
well, I'm not as iffy as it was a couple hours ago. I talked to Joe
Okay.
again today. Talked to him last week on Thursday, and he was a little miffed that the attorney hadn't got things back in time to him or timely. But anyway, have you had any communication with their attorney, Joe?
No, he didn't even respond back to me. He responded back to Structure Point directly.
Okay. Well, I talked to him this afternoon, a couple hours ago. He said that him and the attorney, they went through and they got through some blanks to fill in on this paperwork. He said it's all been filled in, it's signed, his attorney hasn't.
All right.
And so that's where it stands. I mean, he has no issues. He said it's done, and I guess it goes to Kleinman then? It goes back to Kleinman?
Right, they've been dealing directly with the attorney. I got copied in on the back end of it last time. He had the end of my email wrong, so somehow I didn't get it. But Kleinman copied me back in so I could see it. But I haven't seen anything come across that's signed unless it happened late in the day today. So
I doubt it's happened in the last 2 hours.
Alright.
I talked to Joe about quarter till 4.
yeah, I haven't checked my email since about 2. So
Well, okay, let's
So you
not.
want me to just stand by until we actually get everything signed? And
Well,
then
I don't
get
know.
it
Let's
running?
talk about it. We had this thing set up. Go ahead, David.
Well, I'm just saying yes, but we've also have an issue with parcel 6.
that's
I'll
the
let you guys,
shop one,
yeah,
right?
Shopco.
Right.
I reached out to Scott's a couple days ago. They called me back today, said that basically they want that right of way money. I didn't know there was ever any money involved in that, to be honest with you.
Was not what was indicated.
So we made it, we thought we had a compromise made by doing some tap work and some other stuff. So I guess what I need to know is what you guys' opinions are going forward.
Well, I
Since
think
we're
we're-
giving
To
that
quote
money.
Park, well, we gotta pay him to move forward.
Well, yeah, your $1.7 million project, we're gonna hold it up for
Well-
$8,000. We can't. It
Or
doesn't make any sense.
16 or whatever.
But
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 what
we
do you wanna
charge
do?
them for
Well,
whatever
we'll charge
work
them
we
for whatever
do.
work we do.
That's-
I mean, it's just, instead of trade this, that, we'll just charge each other for whatever it is going on. And that's probably the best.
Okay, well, I just need that decision to be made by you guys, so.
You want a motion?
Yeah.
I'll move.
Second.
Yes, sir.
For the
Yeah.
8,100 to be paid to Rockville Properties.
But not waiving the tap fee or anything.
Not waiving any
like that.
fees that we were gonna do before.
Tap fees, the tank,
Has to be
Does
collapsed
that change the letter that we
Has to be
submitted to
collapsed.
them?
or filled with
Because-
sand, I don't care.
cost plus, did we sign that?
Plus materials.
Mhm, Because
Time
that was in
material,
the
what-
agreement
Time material.
with the first structure point, when they sent that update, it stated in there that we were waiving the tap fees in lieu of the $8,100, so that makes a change in
I'll have
that
to read the
letter.
letter. I mean, I don't know.
I can forward it to you.
Yeah,
but
send
that-
it to me.
But they're not, it's not in lieu of, they're getting paid now, so.
Right.
Well, right,
Well, I
that's
know, but
previous
we were-
wording.
We were doing all of the additional work
Yeah.
instead, so does that take, I'll send you the
It
letter,
just
but
depends on how it's worded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
okay.
So we can go ahead with this motion, right?
On the 8,100,
Yeah.
yeah, but.
Well, on the other
I mean,
one, I mean,
wouldn't- I guess I wouldn't say anything until I've read the letter, though.
I'll send it to
Well,
you.
then,
Well, do you wanna table it, or?
because if we
Give them-
pay them and then we end up having, they waive that letter and then we end up having to waive the tap fee and do the work.
table the motion.
If it
until-
says
No,
in
now
lieu
slow
of,
down,
I'm fine
kids, slow
with it.
down.
No,
If it
Slow down.
says
you vote
in
how you
addition
want,
to,
I vote
then
how I
we're-
want.
I just don't remember what that letter said.
Well, I mean, Brandy can forward that to you. We've got a meeting Friday set up.
Let's just address it Friday. Can we do
Does
that?
that work for
Okay.
everybody?
That'd give me
Okay.
time to read it and.
Okay. Well, back on the other parcel out there. Yeah, we can't do anything until we have the darn paperwork in our hands. I don't know if we can have it done by Friday, but
I can call his attorney tomorrow, but he didn't return my phone calls or my emails, so I don't know.
well, yeah, we'll see where we're at Friday. See if you can find anything about where it's at. We originally had this advertisement
Aren't you
of the
so
bids
glad?
out.
Aren't you
We had a
so glad?
timeline set up. That's just going to be moved back by however many days it takes us to get to
Yeah.
the having the actual paperwork in our hands.
Great.
Okay.
Well, he obviously hasn't been paid yet, because we don't have an
Well, no,
agreement,
it
so.
hasn't been
Right.
paid. No,
Yeah, he can't be paid until
Right,
he
so,
turns over the agreement.
it's just pushing the project back further.
yeah,
Time, yeah. By God, we'll get there some year.
I'm telling you, that's why I voted no, it's not gonna be this year.
Oh, it's going to be this year. But where?
Is that clear as mud to you, Jeff?
Yep,
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Answer's maybe.
Yeah, that's all right. I can live with maybe. South Market Street, Kim sent you guys a bunch of updates on right-of-ways and that kind of stuff, the number of parcels and that kind of stuff. It's cruising along. I've got my quarterly report due for NDOT coming up next week, and I'll get that submitted. The Jefferson Street project, I do need approval to order some street lights.
Is that enough lights, Jeff? I was trying to look the darn drawings.
6.
There's 6, and that'll
Six,
cover
and
us.
that's what Structure Point has designed.
That's what they had.
They have
Probably
been
more than
coordinating
we've
with
got now.
Halophane on the specs.
And I think I remember that last week.
Everything's all good on that. Now, the only
Yes.
difference between what we have on Market and what we're gonna have on Jefferson is we're going with an aluminum pole.
That's a
instead
good
of
idea.
steel
That's
pole.
what I was gonna ask. Is all 3 of these aluminum priced then?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. They're the exact same specs that Halophane sent out, so the prices, the best one I have there is from Kirby Risk for $35,096.45. And I'd like approval to get those ordered.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, let's see, what we're paying for that from. Well, there's 2 funds we're using for this project, seed it and food and beverage, so.
Okay, you want it split?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Okay.
Also, Ken forwarded this to me on the Jefferson Street project, and it is a bidding schedule.
That's all that.
Is he back from vacation then, obviously?
Yes.
Did you talk to him about the drawings of when we went from going all angle parking and all parallel parking to switching them up? And we moved the entrance. Did that get taken care of? Then it got moved back?
Yeah, I didn't have any communication with him on that because I
I'll
think
call
you
him
were
tomorrow.
working on it. So I didn't butt into that.
I'll call him tomorrow.
Okay.
So what we got here, Jeff?
All right, so here's this proposal on what I'd like to do. We just need to make sure this coincides with some of our board dates. And if we need to add special meetings or anything like that,
Oh, boy.
coordinate bid advertisement with the newspapers on the 27th. First advertisement for bids on the 4th and the second on the 11th. Contractors' questions, May 20th. Bid opening at a special meeting on May 25th. Bid document review would be from the 25th to June 1st. Now, I don't know why he put June 1st as notice of award,
None
because
of
we
those
don't
are
have,
meeting nights.
no, and I just sent him those.
Well, yeah.
I don't know why he changed those.
He couldn't have missed every meeting if he tried.
Well, the only thing on here, we have what? We have the 25th meeting, bid opening, bid document review. And then on the warrant on June 1st. I mean, it's not terrible. That's 2 Wednesdays in a row.
Why don't we just move those to Mondays
Well,
for the most part?
well, what about what Mondays do we have there? With 16th is the last,
Every Monday will be
the
his.
16th is the last Monday. You mean Monday regardless, just move to Monday that week? Or you wanna move the
Bid
Mondays of our
advertisement.
normal meeting?
We don't need to coordinate bid advertisement. He'll do that on the 27th. First advertisement for bid, second advertisement for bid. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do D. Bid opening needs to be 25th,
Do they have to
May-
allow so long between?
May 25th.
Well, they're given a week to review the document.
Yeah, so
Our
basically,
engineer.
we can move the bid opening to May 30th,
That's Memorial Day.
So are we meeting on the 31st?
Tuesday, 31st. Are you meeting then?
Well, what we're doing is pushing it back another week. I mean, what's wrong with doing it the 25th, guys? I mean, what's, it won't take long, right? We're quick.
But we just need to have Nick there to open the bids.
Oh, well,
What are you doing
doggone
on, what now?
May
May
25th.
Oh, yeah, we got it. We need the attorney.
That's a statutory thing.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday.
What time?
Well, no, what time's good for you?
Start at 9.
4.
Yeah, can we do 4?
In the afternoon? Okay.
Or noon, or 8, or
I like early morning work. I mean, it's
Then I have to
any
take
of
time
those
off
3
from
work
work.
for me.
Then I have to take time off.
When you get to
Does
5
everybody-
and 6 o'clock, that's usually a problem for me a lot of times.
But I mean, like,
Well,
8 o'clock.
everybody could be
8
good
o'clock
at
probably
8
had most
o'clock.
of us here, wouldn't it?
You just
maybe.
need 3, so.
Well, yeah, but I like everybody.
Then how about noon?
Well, she's going to be in Terre.
You can't-
Dave will be on a job
Yeah.
somewhere. What's wrong with 8?
I said I have to take time off from work.
Aren't you just opening bids?
Yeah.
Or 7:45?
Yeah, we're not gonna award
I mean,
anything or anything,
Right.
so.
You just need 3 to open the bids.
We'd open the bids and the engineer can't. Well, no. Yeah, we aren't going to award it. The engineer will take them
Right.
and review them, and yeah.
Right.
So yeah, we're just opening bids. So how about 8 o'clock? You don't have to be here. We're just going to open.
I don't care.
I'm good with
Trust you
8.
all.
I can
So
do
whatever else.
On that particular day, as long
I'll
as it's
just
not
burn
leaving
some
the day.
time so there's no hanky
It's hard
panky.
to
So we're going at 8 o'clock on the 25th.
Yeah.
8 a.m. on the 25th. Bid opening. All right, notice of award, June.
1st, which is the following Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't know why he did that.
Well,
But you can bump that back to June 6th
Well-
at your meeting.
we could, but you want the whole objective is to get this out there
Parks
as
in a
quick as
hurry.
possible. Well, I mean, I'm just being realistic. The
Project are we on?
contractors are going to be.
They're already gonna be busy.
I know. I mean, we're in a very tight schedule in this thing. 90-day window to get it done almost.
Okay.
So I say we just keep the same dates, Jeff. I
Right.
know it's awkward for some of us, but
Notice of award, June 1st. What time you want to meet?
8.
8 a.m.
Can you do that, Nick?
Say no, make it noon.
You don't have to have me here to do a notice of
Oh,
award.
okay.
I just have to be here for the
The
opening
opening.
of the bids. So,
Okay. All right. Well, never mind. And whatever.
It doesn't matter to me. You guys come up with something. I won't make a new meeting. I can tell you.
Well, I
that,
know.
so.
Well, let's alternate. How
actually,
come I have to be the one that
I
always
can be
takes
here
time
on
off
the
for
first.
you or not show up?
We can do it at 5, 6. I don't care. I don't care when we do
bid
it. Make a
awards.
decision.
I can be here on that day,
Okay.
June 1st to 8. Not that I matter for that, but
Most of you are not saying anything. What do you think?
June 6th, I don't think we have to meet.
I'm
That'll
good.
just be them doing the contract work.
Right.
So
Well, let's go.
I don't know that we'll need to do that. May have to get some signatures on contracts. I'll ask him and see if we need to meet on that 6th. And then September 30th, he just has anticipated completion prior to October, obviously.
So what do you guys decide on the review?
Or award, you mean?
Bid document review will be May 25th to June 1st.
June
We're gonna do the
1st,
bid
June
opening
1st.
at 8 a.m., May
Or no, I
25th.
guess he wants to do it on the 25th.
Well, yeah, we're going to do that on Wednesday.
No. Yeah.
And then notice of award at 8 a.m.
Yeah, that's,
On the 1st.
on June 1st.
so both of them are 8 a.m.
All three.
Okay.
Well, there's a 2 for 1 at one meeting.
What was the
May
third?
25th, June
Well,
1st.
it's the same bid.
May
review and
25th 's bid
notice of
opening.
award.
And then June
The
1st.
first is,
Oh,
But there
no,
wasn't
there's
another
three.
one, was there? Okay, I got those two.
Are we gonna award the same day that we do the review? Cause one's
Well, I
scheduled
thi-
for the
That's a
20.
time frame that they have, that,
now June 1st is the day.
But he wants, Park wants it done.
Well, no, the point is the
We meet on the
engineer,
25th.
the engineer will have it for a week to review,
Yeah,
right?
so
No,
we
they'll
don't
do
need it
review,
on.
let us know,
we don't
and
need
then
on-
we'll award
Yeah,
it.
and on the 1st, we boom, do it.
You said meet on the 25th, so it would be, cause it's a week sooner.
Well, on the 25th is when you
Is that
open the
That's
engineer
when
bid.
you
on
open
that,
the
or just
document.
engineer on
Yeah.
that?
So it is 3.
Structure.
Structure point.
Well, it's 2 meetings.
Just
for
2
3
meetings.
items. Remind me, what am I?
that's a
25th.
period of
Oh, okay.
review.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's
You
review.
with me?
I'm with you now.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
getting confused.
All righty, I'll let
You
you
got
know.
that straight now?
Yep.
I don't know. I hope
25th
so.
and the 1st.
Yes,
Okay.
good times.
No, it got canceled.
Where we at, Jeff?
Practice.
That was Jefferson Street. Jackson Voorhees Storm Board meeting is 4:20.
Yeah, we have a meeting Wednesday night.
Yep.
Have we paid that bill? Brandon?
7 a.m.
Let me check.
Yeah, 7 a.m. I think.
I got it at 5.
At 5?
What do you have?
Five.
5. Okay.
Okay.
The
What'd I say,
excavation
AMP?
bill from Glencoe. Have we paid that?
I haven't seen it
Are
yet.
we going to repair? I think we're supposed to approve it Wednesday night.
I think that was that the one I sent to probably,
Yeah,
did I
stormwater.
send that to you, Kevin?
I'm looking.
Yeah.
You three, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Kevin, Steve, and I.
I think that was the one, unless.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
else registered.
It came
I
in
haven't
considerably
seen it.
below what we originally anticipated. We were looking at maybe $30,000, I think. It came in at just shy of 12.
Stormwater
How much is
invoice,
that?
11,000 something.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look, because it might be on.
Yeah.
11,765.
How much you guys put together one already?
So I think we're supposed to approve that Wednesday night. We're going to talk about the change of scope on the project for,
Yeah, for Roger.
yeah.
All right, then it's,
It's like
well, that explains why he's not been
Okay.
over here to clean
Okay.
it figure up.
Right.
Yeah, that's not bad for the work
All
that
right.
we did.
We thought it was gonna be that day.
I thought it was gonna be, yeah, about 3 times.
They're laying that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Jackson Voorhees. Water extension project. We don't have anything new to report there. Charging station information, I have a webinar with ChargePoint tomorrow to start working out the details of getting, that financing and everything put together. Beechwood Park Pool House.
I got a question on that.
Yeah.
Real quick. Is there any reason why we can't, even though it's still gravel, is there any reason why we can't put one up right now? I mean,
No,
okay.
no, we can do whatever we want.
I was asked to, if there was going to be a cost to the individual, or is that going to just be
No,
on the
they'll have to
town?
do.
They'll
Oh,
have
no.
to do a credit card.
They
There's a
have, yeah.
machine, well, I was asked the
Yeah.
question and I
Yeah.
said I'd
Yeah.
find out, but, because I think it was advertised as free power, so that's how some people took that.
Okay.
So there's a machine that goes along with it
Yeah,
that they're using.
it's a vending machine.
Okay.
Yeah, same concept.
It's like if you go to a gas station, do it basically.
Yeah.
Okay,
To the gallons is kilowatts.
yeah. No new news there. Water main repair, still waiting on UMAC for those 2 repairs to be done. Clarifier project at wastewater treatment plant. All right, so this is a big ticket item that we need to make a decision on too. We said that, we approved the 1 new pump or new clarifier for $56,955. Bruce, does have an estimate of $45,000 on a rebuild unit. And that is for,
So we bought a new one and we're looking at rebuilding another one to have the backup, or actually be as an active.
there are 2 pumps, I believe. Isn't that right, Bruce?
Driving.
Is
Driving
the,
units.
is the rebuilt guaranteed just like a new one?
I'm assuming so. I mean, I can't believe it's that high.
I can't either, but I mean,
Yeah, it's close
still
to it.
$10,000 cheaper than a new one, if it's got the same
Yeah,
warranty.
and it's gonna be just as good as a new one. I mean, we're gonna replace every work part on it, so.
It's you guys' decision, whatever you want to do. I mean,
I think we have a choice.
Well, we what?
The rebuild will
I mean, the
work right
rebuild,
now.
like, 12 grand is 12 grand.
Yeah. We can use the papers from grant.
Okay.
Anyway,
Want to motion that?
I'll
So
move.
moved.
On the
Second.
rebuild?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Blower replacement, we're still looking at, numbers. Bruce advises that he thinks we'll be able to cut the size of the blowers in half. 50
Yeah, it's
horse.
100 horse now. We'll probably go with the 50. You check it into it right now. Send them all the data so we can analyze it.
So as soon as we have those numbers, I'll pitch that to you.
Why could we get by with less?
sorry?
Why can we get by with less, and if so,
Well,
why did we
we used to
have?
have coarse diffusion aeration. It required a lot more air.
Gotcha.
They changed that
Bigger holes.
about 2 years ago, and didn't take much air at all.
Okay,
So,
good deal.
When we did that cleanup project here, I guess it's been,
Couple
has that
years.
been a year ago?
yeah, I think it was.
About a year ago.
Yeah.
We cleaned it out and then we put the heads on there.
The 50 horse motor will adapt to the 100 horse without any problem.
I believe so.
Very good.
Roof repair, Levi's gonna get started on that. Brett's working on lights and cross arms to ball fields. Park pavilion painting. If you know any painters, let me know. I wanna get some bid specs out for that. Decorative lights, we have, there are about 3 globes that are broken out there at the park on those little concrete street light poles. Park board is, authorizing me to order 3 of those globes. Plus there's 1 broken fixture and we're gonna replace that with a new fixture and an LED light. Eventually, as we go through them, we're gonna try to replace them all with LED lights through there so it can look nice and use less energy.
How much did those, remember? Doug said we could get some money in the bank, we might be able to do a couple more.
Yeah, just let me know.
Yes.
Finally,
You need to get color changing LEDs.
Collar change?
that would be
Chasing
cool.
one.
Prices come way down on them.
Yeah.
New Hope, we're gonna be putting electricity to the community center building, hopefully by the end of the week, so they can run their internet, through that building. And, I think we still have 1 more water tap and 1 more electrical feed to do there. But they should have their certificate of occupancy for the 2nd building, sometime in the next few weeks, I think.
So Josh issue those, we issue those?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I saw they've got their first occupant going in, I think.
I
Really?
think there are 2 folks, 2 separate buildings or units that have been released, so. And, yeah,
You wanna go, Cindy?
Title 4.
You're ready.
Title 4 thing.
I mean, what it
Oh,
is, I have
oh,
this
yeah.
Brandy's done.
oh yeah, and by the way, the town of Rockville, it's an equal opportunity employer and we comply with all ADA and Title IV, regulations as required by the state of Indiana and the federal government. Thank you. Good reminder.
Cindy, do you wanna go ahead, or do you want me to put this at the end of mine? It's up to you.
You go ahead.
Okay. I'll be quick. Okay, so you already made an approval on the salary ordinance to make those changes, if you could just sign that, please. If you've looked at claims, we have a claims batch for 403,578.51. And I've got a return check and credit card posting for 722.34. So I do have 2 separate batches of claims there, if I can get 2
Well,
approvals on those. when you're
Yeah,
done.
I'm looking through the one for 403 or whatever it was. You know, it's pretty basic stuff. I mean, I don't think there was anything out of the ordinary in there. We had the approval for the payment to, or the payment that we're about to approve is to the excavators for Jefferson Street. Or not Jefferson, but the Jack's building. So that's in there. You know, electricity is about 179,000 our bill for last month. That's a little down. Oh, I know the police fuel's down. That was kind of encouraging, guys. Well, it's been kind of high lately.
Well, thanks for not patrolling.
Well, I don't know. I think it's because they probably consume more gas in colder weather, I would say.
Probably, but, and you have to be running, but, gas has come down a little.
Yeah, it has to. So that was nice. What? Anybody else
Bickering bickers.
got
I
anything?
think we need to separate you two.
David?
Yeah, I wanna say one more time about this late stuff, especially the $18,000 for our new cars. That should have been paid out of last year's funds. I mean, and here we are into April paying it out of this year's funds.
Right. Yeah, time of submission is important, especially when it gets towards the end of the year. Kind of messes up your budgets. But anyway,
I mean, I'm not gonna push the issue of not voting, or not, you know, not voting no on it, but,
What's the one you
I think I made that statement last week. But,
well, I move.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Your code.
Oh dear. Sure you didn't pull it off.
Bank recs are balanced from the month of March.
Okay.
And they're
Yeah.
all labeled.
They're all wonderful. Okay.
I made a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Liddy.
That's
So,
okay.
I was reading.
Okay, I was presented a quote from Cleaver Cabling, which is our IT provider, for $1,100 for a separate server to go with the cemetery software program. Apparently we're trying to use the server that we have, and there's significant lag time between the program itself going back and forth. And they've also asked for a larger monitor so that you can we do have that software program. We've got the map done. We just haven't begun the inputting of the plots yet. But Cleaver was basically suggesting if we wanted to eliminate that lag time, we were going to need a separate server to do so.
This goes in your paperwork, doesn't it?
Oh, sorry.
It does.
Yeah, this is just showing
That
all.
might be my copy that goes with that, yes.
Yeah, here, you can have it
That.
back so it doesn't get lost.
You need one of these back?
No.
No.
Well, yeah. And where's this one going to be? It's going to be here.
It will be here. We're trying to go off of our smaller server that we have here, but it's creating a huge lag in working on it here and being able to work on it in the cemetery. It's just going to slow things up, if not, is my understanding.
Yeah.
And we're trying to use an old monitor, which is that one over there. You can't see the whole entire cemetery map because the screen isn't large enough.
Okay.
So you can't see it as a whole.
Well, I'm all right
That's what
with it.
they're-
What do you guys?
Get them all?
Can't sell plots if they can't see them.
Yeah. I'll move.
All right. Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the roof here at the office began leaking a couple weeks ago when we had a hard rain. There's the entryway. There's a bad spot in the bathroom. It's leaking back there. I did get a proposal from Levi Fisher. He can do a resealing of the roof for $1,400, or he can do a total replacement of the roof for $6,700. He's got some additional information on that. If it's something you want me to bring back
What's he
in
seeing?
a couple of weeks.
It's a flat roof, slopes to the back, I assume.
It leaked really bad back there too, not that long ago. It was running down the walls, both of them.
Well, it was a park board meeting
And it
tonight
leaks
with the
right there at
bucket.
the-
I was like, I think we got a leak.
Yeah.
Well, on his quote, he said to reseal the roof, not replacing metal or trim. We would replace all screws, resealed joints in the metal roof and trim on the sidewalls with silicone caulk. Basically said this will last us hopefully another 8 to 10 years. So
On the resealing?
he said new roof about 40 years. So
What? think the
I mean, you
reseal,
guys can read it yourself.
reseal sounds good to me. $1,400.
That'll stop what it needs to be taken care of.
So we have metal up there, huh?
I don't know.
10 from the 20s.
10 from the 20s?
These flat roofs, but-
Yeah, anybody else want to see this?
Hey, we've got 10.
Well, we've got extra 10. What's that, Nick?
So I don't know who invented these flat roofs, but
A
Yeah.
roofer.
Well, it's just lower cost to build, I think, initially, perhaps back in the day. I don't know, but anyway,
a single one of them leaks.
I'll move the what is it we're doing, the
Resealing.
resealing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Small claims.
Let's see, funds from small claims.
Yeah,
Yes,
what'd you
I
get?
did. Okay, so I, been kind of working back again with Nick on some of these small claims, getting them back into court. We did recover a past due old balance of $1,923.83, plus we accrued interest of $127.76 due to that judgment. So we received a total payment of $2,051.59 from a closing on a sale of a house that had an outstanding utility account. The only thing that I would like to get documented is the interest on that and receipting that back in. State Board of Accounts suggested doing a percentage on that interest so we can split that back into electric, water, and wastewater.
Wow. Gotta love those auditors. Okay, so you want approval on that, three-way split, or, okay, I
So
move.
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that was one of the older accounts. That wasn't something that was real new. So
That was, yeah, it was an older one. I did receive actually today in the mail another $400 that almost pays another small claims.
yeah,
Up to,
I talked to them.
yes, I think the balance was $633.
We have another one still too that might come in too. That's around that one. So,
Okay.
so
But yeah, I got the $400.
if you get another one around 500 or 600, let me know.
Okay.
But
So yeah, I've got those settled and on, I mean, I think you've got the names on those, but,
as you recall, when she came into office, we had quite a bit of outstanding small claims, and that was, we kind of switched over to my law firm doing the small claims at the same time Brandy came in, and so that's kind of been a pet project we've been working on. I don't think we have that much left out.
Earning your keep there, Nick, earning your keep.
Yeah.
We've collected what, over 100,000?
well, that and, yeah. But we're
Yeah.
working towards some of these that are,
I think it was like 156,000.
It was.
Now it's like
Wow.
35,000 or something like that.
right,
Wow.
Um,
That's great.
but
we're getting there.
the key is that if they're not paying, you have to shut them off. You can't let them.
Well, yeah.
Because then we just roll into bigger bills every single time.
Hey, I think the reputation gets out there. And
They're
people-
paying. Everybody's paying.
Yeah.
You pay what is enforced.
Right.
Well,
That
and
works.
we're finding on some of those that, some of the renters especially, they're not paying their bill and then they're moving. And then, you know, if a month goes by and they don't pay their bill and they're not shut off, there's a bill that we're taking to small claims trying to recover those funds. So
What?
that's what we're running into. Majority of the time we shut somebody off, we don't hear from them, we've then realized they've left. They no longer live there, so.
Well, you know, if you don't shut them off, that bill just gets bigger and bigger. And so that was kind of a policy change that she
It's
came
just
in.
not
So
fair to the people that do pay their bills.
it's
is it?
been helpful as far as collection, I guess I'd say. It doesn't make you super popular.
No, really not, but it helps the town, so
Yeah.
that's what I'm here to do. I do have a couple of letters from IMPA, and Dan Jarvis from IMPA had come in and had a meeting with me last week on, they're wanting to, we purchased 6 50 kVA one-phase pad mount transformers, of a total of $14,490. Those were purchased for the New Hope project, and it's my understanding that New Hope, those couldn't be used down there, so we used 4 100s from IMPA instead. So they're wanting to kind of make a trade in the amount of the 100s for the 50s. They're wanting to then credit back our material fund in the amount of $14,490. I have a letter here that I would need an approval on and a signature from Dave if that's what you wanted to do. Wasn't sure if you want to credit your material fund or if you'd rather have a check, and then you can allocate those funds wherever you see. I think by looking there was still $39,000 in the material fund as of last week.
At INFA?
I think we take the money.
Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, we could, but it's nice to have some over. I mean, we used to have how much was it? They could sit back.
150, wasn't it?
150.
We left about 50, brought back
I think
100,000.
I'd rather have it than materials, but that's just me.
Well, I agree. Well, materials there or here?
There.
Well, I agree because they're. I think they're a good outfit. We had a lot less outages in the last 3 years, so I'm okay with leaving it there. I mean, I'm sure we're going to be using it somewhere down the road.
I just wanted to make sure and we get a signature that if you're okay with the trading of materials.
Well, has Nick blessed it?
I don't know that much about it, I guess, but. I mean, is that a good price
Well,
on whatever they're getting? If that's a fair price, I don't see an issue, but.
And it is based on the time when they were purchased.
Okay.
Because the prices obviously increased on everything. I still need to run some numbers because the 4 that they're using for the 9180 was $9,180 was the 100s, but there were 4 of them. So we're swapping out, getting that credit back into material fund, but those were actually purchased for that New Hope project. So just want to make sure that all of those numbers are fair. If there's any money that needs to go back to New Hope as overpayment, then
I was gonna say, did New Hope,
they're due that money.
Right.
didn't we charge them for those?
They paid for them. So there's that one.
Well, we want to do one at a time. I
Yep.
mean, David, you have to sign
No,
it.
yeah, that's fine.
Well, as long as Brandy is okay with it, because she has to explain it to the auditors.
We need a motion on that, right?
Oh, yeah, I'll move.
Yeah, you need a
Second.
paper trail.
All in favor?
Aye.
So just so I'm clear, you're refunding New Hope whatever their share is of that.
I believe they are due back.
No,
a
that's how it
difference.
needs to operate. I'm just
Yes.
making sure that we're on the same page.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because we're getting $14,490 back in our materials fund,
Yeah.
is what New Hope paid. When return, they actually got a good price on the 100s, and really would have only paid $91.80 for those 4
As long as we're
100s that are being
making
used
them
there.
whole in the deal,
Absolutely.
I'm fine with it.
Yep, that's why I wanted
Okay.
it documented here. So
Yeah.
that is for you to sign.
Yep. That's fine.
490. And the other one is they have a customer that's wanting in their building by mid-May. And apparently we have 2 remanufactured 300s at the plant that we're not utilizing at this time.
What do we use something that big for around here, Jeff? I mean, it's pretty big.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one that goes to, but we've got some big ones out there.
So you're aware of this? I mean, you're okay.
There's 2
They're
of
just
them
wanting to swap them out.
that are down
Right.
there. They're wanting to take this one now and replace it back to our yard when they're scheduled to receive one in November.
IMPA's wanting to do that.
So, being that something is leaving our property that we currently own,
Right.
they're wanting it signed, a signed letter from us acknowledging that that's okay. So I would just like that voted on too.
Motion made.
Today's date or?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye, yeah.
Okay. Who made that motion?
Blitty and
Okay, the only other thing I have is I had a customer that had called into the office. I didn't get to actually speak with myself, but she lives on Olive Court. She said she received 2 very high utility bills and probably had a 3rd one coming because of the month behind. She was notified by the office that she had a leak when we ran our monthly list. She called Beverly Plumbing's out. They were unable to find a cutoff for the water, so they had scheduled to come back the following Monday. Town of Rockville utility guys came out to find the meter, and had been used a metal detector. This is an email from her to find it. It was discovered by your employee, the town, that she had a hose on. The only water hose outside her house was slowly pouring out onto the ground. So since I did not use all of this water through the sewage system, she's asking for some relief on her sewage section of the month's bill and next month's. This bill was $643. Next month will probably be as high. Thank you for your consideration. That was the email that she sent to the office. Basically, it was just explained to her that was something that, I don't feel like I have the authority to, that needs to be a board decision. That's outside of an ordinance, kind of a special occasion or special situation. So
What does our ordinance say? I mean,
Well, so usually when you're doing your billing, your sewer mirrors your water, and it does allow for one adjustment on your billing under the language in it. I don't know if they've had any adjustments or not.
In 12 months, one for 12 months,
for
yeah.
12
And then we can adjust, sewer and water, we so decide.
You can. It sounds like she's only asking about the sewer portion.
Right,
huh?
right.
the issue with that is that's that slope that we can do it, but then everybody that fills a pool is gonna want that.
Well, we give
I
pool
thought that's what
adjustments.
that one,
the
the
one
year
is
was
for the
for.
water, basically,
True.
just the water, not the sewer.
I
I
guess
think she's
my
just.
suggestion would be that you might adjust the sewer, but not the water.
Well, yeah, the sewer I can see, the water, no.
Right,
that's-
she did use the water.
I broke lines, one thing, pool filled, but
Right.
just a hose running is,
A lot of people water
Yeah.
a lot of flowers. And water
I'm
their
okay
yards,
with
too.
adjusting sewer, but how much are you adjusting, just total?
Well,
Because she has
it'll
other sewer bill for the house.
Yeah, it'll be a portion of her bill. I mean, we don't have the calculations down. She was just stating she had received a bill for $643, but that's probably her whole entire bill.
Well,
so
you
that's
guys know what the
electric and
history is, looking
everything,
back
so-
12 months.
You may wanna
Yeah.
wait for her next bill to see which is the highest.
Well, and that's the thing too, when we can go back and do 2 months. So I just wanted to make sure that you all were okay with that and
Okay.
focusing on the wastewater portion. If you can just make a separate approval to
Need a
have an
motion?
adjustment for her.
I would think.
What are you gonna adjust it to then, her standard? use?
Whatever her average is, take an average of 6 months.
I'll move.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I think that is all that I have.
Real quick, Steve, did you wanna go to this class, or?
I mentioned to Jeff that they're available if he feels that he needs it, wants it at no charge. So it might be worthwhile, and again, he may not feel, I don't know what stage of his training he's at, so.
They'll feed you well. And caramel.
Are you ready, Cindy?
You get a handout tonight? This is nice.
Yeah, it's just for your pleasure reading. It's exciting.
Get one.
Oh, well, here, I took Liddy's. I'll have to have it.
Maybe here.
This is what I
Oh, you got one. You're trying to take.
I am. I want them all.
Sorry, sidetrack.
Oh,
It's so pretty.
We can.
Okay, so you'll start a folder for that grant application.
Okay.
It'll just go in that environmental.
This is my copy, but for Dave's record.
Just so that you guys, so the town knows that we sent that inquiry.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a couple things before we get into the paper I sent out. I have a limited number of spaces, but if anyone on the board did not attend the open house at New Hope but still wants to go through the units, 10 a.m. this Thursday. We're doing a walkthrough of the second block of units. So if anybody wants to join, please let me know, because I have to let them know how many people I'm bringing in. So I have to limit to who I can invite. Just a reminder, next Monday at 5, we're holding the public hearing for the water grant. Does not require the full board, but if a couple of you can
Yes,
be
you're
here.
welcome. We get extra credit for what will be, what date?
Monday, the 25th
What time?
at 5.
Fine.
Yeah. it shouldn't be a long meeting, but I would encourage you to invite the public, please, because that's always very helpful when we make these grant
Tell Randy it's a
applications.
date.
Yeah.
Bring a
Come on, honey.
neighbor, something, a bring a friend meeting.
We'll take him out to eat,
Dollar menu at Burger
Yeah, we
King.
didn't promise any kind of food to entice them, but just want to remind you that on Friday, because I know that's not your normal meeting schedule. And then next week on Wednesday, I sent to Brandy, and she may have shared at your last meeting, the town leadership meeting, just encouraging, did you get a chance to read that letter to them?
What is it?
Leadership meeting.
No, I didn't, if you wanna go over that. Or
Yeah.
I can print it off if you need it.
I can tell them, and if
Okay.
they want it printed, we can. So Partnership Park County tried to do, twice a year town leadership meetings in the spring and the fall. We usually have some kind of educational program, just bringing new information to you, and then we have kind of roundtable discussion, just sharing what's working well for you, what have you seen another community do, so on and so forth. But the program for Wednesday, this is next Wednesday at 6. We're gonna have,
27th, is that?
yes, the Indiana Office of Technology. So they have started in that department doing web development. So it's called a local government initiative. They're designing websites at no cost to the communities.
And apps. They're pushing apps too.
And that is something they'll probably get into next. They're also providing the in.gov email addresses. I understand sometimes for police departments, that's a requirement to have in the application, so they can help with that. So if this is an invitation for the council, if you want to participate in that discussion, we're gonna have them remotely, so it'll just be they have a little spiel to share and time for questions and things. If you don't feel like you need a full website, they can do like a one-page thing. But anyway, they're offering their services at no cost. We've been working with them to do the county website. It's been pretty painless so far. They do offer also credit card processing and things like that on the back end, so.
Do I be able to go tonight?
No. We don't host it as a public meeting, it's just been an informational meeting at this point. But the information is on the website, I can share it with you if you're interested in looking at what they offer. I can actually give you that link. So just some reminders about meetings. And then what I gave you tonight, as you've been talking about a lot of different projects,
Tell me what you said. 6.
with the like parking area, trying to do green space ideas. There's been discussion town clocks, various things like that. When we were at the housing summit last week, which by the way, we had 48 people attend, so that was pretty awesome. And we've had a speaker reach out to us already wanting to meet and have kind of further along the conversation, so that's encouraging. But anyway, so some of these public spaces, ideas, perhaps even parks, they have a grant that's a 50-50, really, in which you have to do some fundraising on your end, on the public dollars for 50% of the project, and then IHCDA, which is the Housing and Development Authority, could possibly fund the other 50%. So this is just an overview of the program, wanted to make you aware of it. I sent this to Mandy earlier today because I really think it's something that she could do here. So we're gonna probably chat about it later. I think before I got here, you may have had some discussions about landscaping and so forth there, so that may apply here to this.
So.
Just sharing information.
On that,
Yes.
with wayfinding signs and the town clock, which everybody knows that's what I want, so. I mean, can those both be in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can do, I mean, if you wanted to break up projects, so like if you wanted to do one specific to wayfinding signs, you could submit one for that, and then you submit a separate one if, depending on how you guys want to do it. But the cool thing is this is a partnership with Patronicity, so they actually supply a web portal. You go in, put in your project information, and it'll put up for your online crowdsourcing. And so it has a really neat place people can just go in and do donations online. It doesn't even have to be a person from Rockville. If you have some alumni that's out of state, you might send them the link and say, hey, here's some projects we're doing. Go online and give us $100 or whatever it is you want to do. The max for a project is $100,000. Your local matching dollars, because I had the idea of like the foundation has some money that they could potentially put towards the parking area. They can only donate up to 35% of the
Our match.
community's match. Yeah. But anyway, here's details. So if you guys want to think about that, and if you want to give Ray or Randy some direction on some ideas to try, or the park board or whomever. They say the money's out there until it's gone. There's no timing on this one, so there's not like a deadline. You have to have applications in. It's just until the money runs out.
So if we did the wayfinding signs, for instance, I mean, our match, I'm assuming you guys would be okay with funding ourselves. I
Well, the wayfinding, yes.
But if we did go with
You
the
couldn't
clock.
fully match your own.
Okay, well, I mean,
The applicant cannot give donations.
Right. Well, I mean, I think we ought to do two, separate.
Yeah, I think
Do
it
the
makes
wayfinding,
sense to.
we'll fund it. I mean, Mandy's got information on that. We need to talk about that probably at the next meeting, and then, like I said, the clock, I mean, I'd like to do that through donation.
Yeah, and if you have time, it gives you the Patronage City website for these projects, and you'll see what some communities are doing. You'll see some examples. And I'm kind of looking at Park Board for this, but Rensselaer's doing this to make their facilities within their parks ADA compliant. So there's a lot of different things. It doesn't necessarily have to be art related. It just needs to be public space. So there's a lot of different ideas that some people did, like a baseball diamond, like they cleaned up their baseball diamond and did different things. Some have been more art related, some have been small business, little incubator spaces.
Some people had a project at their local depot.
Could be. Yeah, all of these things would be eligible for these applications, and
Can you do multiple though? I mean, is there a limit?
100,000
As long as you don't
tops
max your
That's per
max
project.
out.
per project.
yeah.
But you could have, if you had 5
Dang.
different items that you wanted, you would apply for them all
That's your
individually.
budgets.
I would suggest doing
Okay.
that just because they're gonna ask
You're gonna do it
you,
anyway, so.
how much you need for that particular project. And if you group them all together and you don't meet your match,
Right.
then you don't get anything.
Okay.
So you may, if you separate them, people are like, oh yeah, I really like that.
Mhm.
I'm gonna give money to this one.
Yeah, it lays it out
So-
on here. Maximum donor is $10,000 or 35% of campaign goal, whichever is less. So it has all the criteria.
Yeah.
I don't think the clocks are anywhere near that kind of money, so. I mean, I guess they can be, but I think Mandy was looking at them somewhere around 8,000. And that's the clock face having our, Rockville, Indiana established a
Yeah.
cast iron days. Which I think that would work in the parking lot, green space area. I mean, I think it just add to it, so.
Yeah. I think the only thing it mentions in here is if you're doing something at a place that's designated in a national historical district, there's some additional qualifications you have to go through. But other than that's really only the
You have to
restriction.
complete it within 1 year.
So if we did something at the depot, say like a small auditorium, could you do that grant with a DNR grant, or do they? I mean, is there any way to put two grants together, I guess, is the way
There's always a way, we just have to figure out how to do it.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't have any idea what it would cost. Have you ever looked into it?
Well, the auditorium at the depot,
The amphitheater.
we had some rough idea. We didn't get a cost, but we had a design sort at one time.
Terraced into the.
But we don't own that west side of the lot.
I know.
But anyway, that's park board thing. You girls
Someday we need to fill them in, because they were a little unclear on that. Like Melissa didn't realize there was a building there that we didn't.
In the back, yeah. Yeah, it's a long
But
story.
yeah, I mean, there's a way, it's maybe
Long and
one
painful.
grant does a specific piece and then the other one does kind of the rest of the
Maybe
project.
do
kind of thing.
engineering with one and then actual construction with one.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a way to, anyway, I just want to share that because I know you've been talking a lot about public spaces and
Yep.
this is at least some funding that will help you.
That it?
Anything else for me?
Not tonight.
Brady, did you get approval to pay the invoice for McCall's?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
I'll copy the check tomorrow.
okay.
That's it.
I got you.
That's submitted for
Because we
reimbursement.
talked
Talk
about
about
that,
that.
then once I get that to you, you'll have a paid invoice,
I'll still see
and
it.
then you
I
can
can
get that
send it.
reimbursement.
You
Yeah.
back anything.
We'll
Oh,
request
good
for
idea.
reimbursement, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks.
all right, you're welcome.
Thanks, Cindy. Bruce, Troy, you guys got,
I think we were talking about everything.
you spent all the money we're gonna spend tonight, right?
Oh, God, I hope so.
We're not done yet, but
Oh, I know.
Like, give us a break,
Well,
not
looking
every.
forward to the next meeting, huh? Okay, Park wants to talk a little bit about debt.
Yeah, apparently,
Debt.
you know, I brought up debt to meet the candidates last Wednesday night, I guess it was. You know, the town's had debt for over 50 years in sewer alone. We've always had debt. All the utilities have had debt over the last half century. But yeah, so I think some people get confused on that's the wrong folder, on debt. But you know, the community at large perhaps doesn't understand. We always have debt of some sort. You know, like I said, last Wednesday night it'll be down to about 2.8 million at the end of the year. 7 years ago it was over 7 million. And most of the debt is in sewer right now. We have 1.985 million from the 2010 bond on that project, and then and that's off. It's paid off 7 years. You know, our other sewer debt that we took out 2 years ago will be paid off in 8 years. It's at 746. You know, water department has 336,000 at the end of the year, and that goes back. God, that's a 20-year bond. That goes way back. And then stormwater, that thing was a 15-year bond. And it'll be paid off in 27. It's bouncing into the years 278. So you know,
Wasn't there a 40-year bond?
there was 40-year bonds back in 2010. They combined a 40 and a 20 or something into one bond. We paid that one off a couple years ago. Yeah, we've had debt for forever. You know, and I know you get tired of me hearing it or saying it, but the objective is to get as little debt as possible to where we can have more money to finance our projects internally and not keep borrowing. But so it's been good, but I think some people I've heard out in the streets, what, we have debt? Well, yeah, we have all kinds of utilities that require some major updating now and then. So I just wanted to say that, David, just to kind of maybe clear the air out there.
Are there many communities that don't have debt?
Oh, no. You go online and look. A few years ago, I looked at the west side of the state, and I think 31 different communities that came close to Rockville size. And yeah, it's amazing what you'll see in the financials. No, it's usually amazing how much they have is what's just mind-boggling, especially for the size of some of the towns. No, nothing exciting.
Local, state, regional, national?
Yeah.
Everyone's in debt.
Everyone's in debt. It's American way.
Well, I want to make a quick statement. Our last meeting, I'd mentioned about getting a garrison flag for the fire department for the new ladder truck. Jim Beach and I got together, talked about it. He looked into the flags. We made a purchase. No debt to the town. We had 3 donors that want to remain anonymous, and they're paying for the flag. So it's roughly around $850.
How big?
So don't quote me, but I believe it's a 20 or a 15 by 25.
Wow.
It's polyester. Should last 15 years. Him and I talked about obviously 4th of July, Memorial Day. I even mentioned like the cruising. I mean, I think it's great advertisement for the town to have the truck out, and so any comments you wanna make about it, it's fine with me, so.
Saw it drive by today, it's kinda neat, just rolling through the square with the big
Pretty cool.
ladder.
They went to the fairgrounds for some training,
Oh, yeah.
I believe, up there today.
That's
Nice.
neat. I don't know.
It was windy,
Yes.
but,
Yeah.
but they went.
So,
Okay.
well,
It's great.
public comment, anybody wanna say anything, ask any questions?
Congratulations to our president and his new fiance.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Oh, I didn't know. Wow. Yeah.
You're supposed to be beaming.
She is. Daggers.
It'll be fine.
Anyway, thank you. So, any other comments?
Motion
All
to
right.
adjourn.
Move, second, whatever.
All in favor?
Aye.